Hey guys, going to do something a bit different tonight. I'm going to do a book review, and the book in question is a book called Watch My Back by a guy called Geoff Thompson. Absolutely life-changing book, and I don't use those words lightly. When I read this back in my 20s at a time of a very low point in my life, it did change my life. The book is deeper than what it seems on the cover. The cover, Geoff holding a knuckle dusters, it seems like one of those books that glorifies violence, etc. But it's so much deeper than that. So much deeper than that. The book essentially is about slaying demons and beating fears. Without spoiling the story too much, I'll just give you a little overview of it. Geoff was sexually abused as a child, and that sexual abuse left a scar on his psyche that followed him into adulthood. He was married very young, had children very young, drifted into a sort of a mundane job, hated it, and was very, by his own accounts, very fearful of life, suffered manic depression and things like that. But his biggest bugbear was his fears. So one day, sick of it, he created a fear pyramid. Lowest fears at the bottom, highest fears at the top. And he worked his way through spiders and dentists, etc. And at the very top of the fear pyramid was a chronic fear of violent confrontation. Instead of dipping his toe in the water, so to speak, he got a job as a nightclub bouncer in Coventry in the 80s and 90s. Every major UK city and town back in those days was extremely violent on a Friday and Saturday night. But Coventry had the reputation of being, like, I think it was Europe's worst city for glassings. So, as all cities were very violent, the Coventry had a particular sort of reputation for people getting glassed and stuff like that. So Geoff went to work on a notorious nightclub door called Buster's. By his own accounts, on his first night, he said that was not for him. It was not for him. He was going to leave, and he got some positive feedback off one of his mentors on the door, the head doorman, who's named in the book as John Awesome Anderson. And Geoff ended up spending the best part of a decade on the nightclub door. By his own accounts, he went on the nightclub door to slay the demon, to slay the dragon, and became the dragon himself. Violence became his answer to everything. And he realised that later on, and ended up leaving the doors and actually completely eschewed violence completely. I got the absolute pleasure of meeting Geoff in 2022 at a keynote speech he done in Coombe Abbey, and I got to speak to Geoff before the event started at the bar. And what a great guy, what an insightful guy. One of my highlights of the last few years, that was meeting him. But if you are down in life at the minute, or you need some balm for the soul, or even a kick up the backside, I cannot recommend this book enough. Don't let the violent cover put you off. It is way, way deeper than that. And whoever you are or wherever you are in life, I feel like you can take something from this book. Highly recommended.